Hey, everybody, in case you missed it, I'm Scott Smith. I'm the marketing coordinator and one of the coaches here at Hudson Inc. and want to give a big thank you to everyone that has joined us for this bonus mastermind session. We had 259 contractors register for the marketing formula training videos that you see shown here. That really exceeded the number that we thought, which proves the fact that you guys are hungry for marketing clarity and finding out what works in HVAC marketing today. As was proven repeatedly in the videos, the old model is definitely not working. If you didn't see those videos, as you know, they were pulled from our server. Couldn't handle the traffic. It really is one of those things that you think you plan for it, but when you have that overwhelming response, you've got to do something. But in case you missed those, you do have a replay link there at the bottom. It's hvacreport.com, so you can tune in, listen to those, and watch those. I don't know how long those will be available. But we will be referring to them throughout the day as we go forward. And, of course, when I say we, I mean our fearless leader and I, Adams Hudson, who's also on this webinar with me. He'll be interjecting throughout his normal genius level input.
You're only saying that because I'm here.
That's right. He's going to give us a brief synopsis of why that model that we discussed isn't working, and also show you how to fix it. And then we're also going to field some of the questions that we got during and after the presentation. And after we finish that little Q&A session, I'll pick up and actually give a tour of the HVAC Marketing Power Suite that shows you some of the pieces that we're actually advising right now. It's the first time we've ever shown the pieces in public. It's going to give you a glimpse of what it's like to have the Power Suite at your fingertips. And without further ado, let me turn this over to Adams Hudson.
Well, and it won't be completely over to me, but I do just want to say, thank you to Scott for that. And I wanted to say thanks to everybody who carved out a little bit of time today. Very busy time of year for you to be doing that. But we do not believe there's any more important topic than growing your marketing, which of course grows your business and reduces your stress and all those fun things. And this marketing video series that we launched was super popular. There are a lot of HVAC contractors out there naturally very concerned about the drop in lead count or about the old model isn't working. And some are also nervous about changes in the economy. It seems like not a week goes by that there's not a sort of a crack in the foundation of the economy, though there are other good news sectors. There are things that sort of make us think, oh, is this it? Is this the one? Is this where anything from interest rates to other currencies dropping off the map here, which are, going to trigger a tsunami of ill effect? You also got to deal with cheap competitors, over-dependency on the weather, which I'm telling you that is a bad idea if you're trying to run a reliable business. You've got general marketing confusion, and many of you on the call reference that you want some version of getting out of the dependency trap. In other words, sort of like wanting to not have to wonder about the weather and wonder if you're going to get the call. You want to be like in control, and marketing is kind of the way of doing that. And what we feel, one of the things we see as a big problem is people are misconstrue that their HVAC business is not about deliverables. I'm telling you right now, it is not. We're not talking about hardware, equipment, repair, installation, maintenance agreements. Those are all deliverables. But when you think like that, it forces you to focus on the technical aspects of your business. And yeah, technical proficiency it's important, but high technical proficiency does not have a corresponding success rate. That is false thinking. And so, I mean, think about it. For the very same reason, there are many fantastic chefs who still have to close down their restaurants. So it wasn't about the technical proficiency. And if you only focused on that technical side, or you maybe awfully assume, oh, any marketing is good enough and people will come to me, in this day and age, it is definitely not the case. And you see up here, we're talking about an increasingly distracted market. People are just way distracted, and your business today is about marketing to make your competitive advantages noticed and desirable, because even the HVAC contractor with the best equipment, best tech, fairest prices is definitely going to go out of business without leads. You're going to go under. So your business kind of lives or dies by marketing and lead generation and powerful marketing and powerful messagings. Yet too often those leads really are dependent on things that are out of your control, like we mentioned, the economy, whether hoping for equipment breakdowns. I mean, that's just no way to run a business. That's a super high stress way to try to make ends meet. Now, the videos that you saw, and especially this one today, this webinar today, is about putting you in control of this vital part of your business, no question about it. Marketing is what does that. We heard from a lot of people expressing their dismay and their concerns, their fears, and the big problems were mentioned as these, the marketing confusion. That's a huge one. That has gone from maybe about number 5 now to number 1. People don't know what to do. Every week it seems there's a new strategy, a new twist, somebody selling you a new thing on what's new. Now, they're not telling you it's effective, or they're trying to sell you on some effectiveness, but they don't have any proof to back that up. They're just telling you, oh, you're going to be left behind if you don't do this. And that is just absolutely not the case, and we can prove it, and we proved it in the videos. We'll prove it again today. But these are the big 5 here that we see. The too few leads is huge. It's related to the confusion. Offline marketing has been sacrificed. We're going to show you that that is a very serious misstep. People who only think, oh, it's all online. Well, no, that's not what the facts tell us at all. People treat on and offline separately as if they're in contention somehow. If you got to vote one way or the other, and that couldn't be farther from the truth either. And then, of course, there's no marketing process in place. It's what we call manic marketing. You're sort of responsive to the need of the day. Ooh, the leads are down. I got to do some marketing. Oh, I've got a lot of leads. Pull all the marketing. That is no way to run a business either. But what we look at with the confusion, I'm going to attack that one kind of quickly. You saw in the video where the old model, prior to 2008, if anybody's current model looks like this, I guarantee this is the reason that you're failing. You just had a few media choices. The consumers relied on a few means of contact, and we call those inputs and outputs. So a contractor could put a few ads out there, do a couple of marketing things, expect some response, and the output and the input was fairly straightforward. Everybody understood. And you saw in video marketing 1, though, where that, video number 1, that the marketing really changed when the web world came over there on the bottom right, and then it started hitting its stride more and more each year. And things got scalable, and things got to where a website could reach as many people as you could visit 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One email cost you the same as 1,000 or 10,000, and on and on. And all the issues that popped up from that, all that freedom at relatively low cost and massive scalability, it spawned dozens upon dozens of creative ways to touch customers and to reach them with more options, more search engines, and of course, more cost. And that model gave way to this model, which is not exactly one that is orderly anymore. Now, if you feel confused, you're not alone. People are trying to sell you something new every day, but what is produced is not even leads anymore, as you saw in video 1. And people are talking about, oh, how much traffic did you get? How many likes? How many followers? What is your rank? How many reviews? How many are positive? How many clicks? None of that's money. I mean, I'm just going to tell you right now, none of that is money. There is a step that has to take place, which means they need to become a calculable lead, as in an appointment, a place to go see to close. Now, and on top of it, you think about your choices in media and messaging are so confusing. Now let's look at another thing that was hit in the videos, which is what the poor consumer sees. It's fragmentation, and please look at that first word up there, fragmentation. That means that you are doing all these things. Contractors are sending out all those different yellow boxes. They're those different messages and different media, and they scarcely even overlap except for your name and phone number or web address, and it's just ridiculous to assume that a customer can even keep it straight. No matter how many different ad messages you use at the same time, you cannot get marketing penetration. Just seriously, that is the fact. You can't get it. You can't get your customer to even notice your ads. They have too much coming at once. And so hear me on this. The fastest way to be forgotten is fragmentation. Yet the fastest way to be remembered is integration, aligning these messages together, which is what the rest of this webinar is going to show you exactly how it was done in the videos with massive success. See, fragmentation guarantees market confusion and low penetration. You have no depth. Today's consumer can't even see you. It means you almost can't get leads that way. That's why your old model is broken. And worse, we still see contractors using those horrible "for all your heating and cooling needs" words in their ads, just like all the plumbers and competitors and electricians, other HVAC guys, painters, landscapers, roofers, every trade out there. See, the goal in your marketing is differentiation. So how in the heck are you going to differentiate if you're blending in with everybody else? Now think about what you see online or on television or in the mail. You see, just for example, Geico, State Farm, Progressive, Farmers. They're all selling the same thing, right? But they're drilling down to get your attention very uniquely, and they all, with billions on the line, they all use integration of messages across media. They have a consistent single line of messages in their campaigns, exactly as contractors should do, but you haven't had access to it. Well, unless you wanted to pay a creative firm 6 digits to create one from scratch. You haven't had access. Yet we showed you in those videos, and more today, some simple ways to do that. And Scott's going to show even more in just a bit, but you saw how contractors were using this in integrating messages across the media. Basically, I'm telling you, you can breathe easier. You can simplify your messaging. You can unify those messages across the media, thereby multiplying your results exactly as we saw here. I mean, look at the before and the after, and they march on skyward from there. The results were fantastic. So not only is marketing integration simpler, it's easier, and it's more effective. That's a very good combination. So anyway, when we began testing integrated messages for these contractors that you saw in the video, and for many other clients who said, no, I'm not willing to submit my results. You know, we have hundreds of clients out there using the integrated messaging, but we did it very simply at first. In online, we did it with just simple emails, reports, videos. Then we worked it offline, showing you direct mail and some outdoor, really basic stuff, but the results were incredible. And it started with simple things like the email, which of course, you know, it follows every rule of modern response. It's not just an email. It goes from the subject line to the message, the links in your report. And, you know, the Power Suite program has, Scott, what is it, like 44 different emails that also follow all these parameters.
That's right.
And you have a whole bag from which to choose of those that create the integrated messaging approach. And then you've got your online reports that relate directly to the message that you want to put out there. You get higher SEO. You get it organically instead of having to pay for AdWords. And your Power Suite has more than 30 of these. And then we showed you how that relayed to some offline pieces like a direct mail letter, a postcard, and another print piece for the more affluent and more educated in the crowd. And you can see how the themes are starting to work together, how the graphical theme here is highly, highly consistent. And of course, you have the other pieces that directly relate to it. Well, some people say, oh, well, Hudson Inc. got lucky, or Hudson Inc. is oversimplifying the marketing message. It's got to be super, super complicated. You got to do 25 or 30 different things. You got to pay all these different vendors for it. And we have the proof to the contrary. And some people say, oh, you know, those other media, you know, they're so outdated and old, they can't be working. Well, that's really not the case. See, this is where we get our information, is from massive, massive research. This shows the media preference by age group. This was from 180,000 U.S. consumers polled by the online, hear me on that, the online researcher, the Sherpa Group. So this isn't a guess. It's not biased. It's not slanted for our benefit. Hudson Inc. has been saying for 2.5 years that direct mail was on an amazing comeback. as many so-called new age marketers refuse to believe it, and they brainwashed a bunch of contractors trying to tell them, oh, that stuff is old, you need to be doing everything online, and there's nothing to be farther from the truth. In fact, I got an email today to write an editorial from direct response legend named Bob Bly for his list of 150,000 e-zine subscribers on the powerful upswing he's seeing in direct mail. Google's using it, Amazon is using it, a lot of retailers are. And right here, Scott, wouldn't you say this is probably the sweet spot of the consumers for the contractors you talk to?
Absolutely. That's going to be your homeowners. Those are the people that have a little bit of disposable income and also understand the value of preventive maintenance and high efficiency equipment. So that's going to be your sweet spot, definitely.
Yep. Well, and see, and that's so we're aiming at these people, and you can see that it goes in direct descent from email to postal mail to television ads, which we didn't include just largely because of the media cost, but certainly that's a great one. But then you've got print and on, and it works all the way through. Now, so that's the brief summary. You put a hot message in front of these people in the right language and media, and you get winners. If you try to confuse your marketing with a lot of different messages, you get losers. So that's the brief summary, and in a bit you're going to see a completely done-for-you system that was used in the video. But first, Scott and I are going to tear through, I don't know, a handful of questions here that were pulled in, and they represented a bunch of different needs. And Scott, I'm going to let you take charge here and answer a few of these, and I'll jump in.
Okay. All right. The first question we have is from David Colton from Colton Heating and Cooling, and his question is, how can I create compelling offers to generate new customers? And first off, thank you, David, for submitting that question. There's a couple of points to that question that I would like to tackle, but the first part is the fact that it's offers. It's not branding. It's not imaging. It's not it's none of that. It's how do I get my phone to ring? How do I make an offer that makes somebody pick up the phone or submit an email to me and become a lead, like Adam's talked about earlier? So there's a couple of different avenues that you can go down. One, you've got to make sure that the market that you're going after is your target market. You can have the best offer and the most compelling offer that's ever existed on the face of the planet, but if it goes to the wrong people, it's no good. So you want to make sure that you're targeting the right list that we touched on a little bit in the previous slide, and then the offer. You want to make sure that it's consistent across your different media types. If you have that fragmented message that's inconsistent, and you've got a tune-up special going on here and an equipment replacement special going on there, and they look at a piece that has 9 different offers on the front of one postcard, you're asking for them to be confused, and you're asking for them to not pick up the phone and call.
Yeah, you're asking them to please throw that one in the trash quickly.
Exactly. Yeah. Not only does it scream, hey, I'm trying to sell you something, it's a good way to dilute that message and that offer down to just about nothing.
And that would be the very same, Scott. I'm glad you brought that up because, I mean, we get lots and lots of ads to critique here, and it's any media. I mean, the email message that starts off with a sales approach, of course, we have proven time and time and time again you cannot do that. Email is a two-step method. Same with social posting. That's a two-step method. You can't start off with the screaming sale. My editorial just this week was all about not having a sale 52 weeks a year. I mean, that's a way to kill your credibility. And Bob Zom, if you're on the phone, he's been a longtime client of ours, president of Huntington Heating and Cooling, asked a very similar question to David. He said his biggest marketing challenge for the web is getting the right offer on the homepage to get more leads. And Scott, I'm going to just throw in a specific here, a little formula. If people want to use this, I mean, Scott's given a great overview of how to create a compelling offer. But the formula, if you're really trying to think through what makes a compelling offer, it's a copywriter's tool, and you would start with a pain, a fear, something that needs to be overcome. But pain and then gain, meaning how you actually overcome that, how you're the solution, and then it is how do they actually get that from you, clear instructions, and then now. So now, why now is better than later, sense of urgency, call to action. It's got many, many different labels, but the little 2 rhyming couplet is pain, gain, how, now. So that should give you at least a formula by which to follow, and we follow that, probably 60, 70% in the Power Suite because we have many, many other formula to pick from, but that's it. How about question 2? Scott, are you ready?
I'm ready.
I figured you were. All right.
Sitting on
All right.
go.
I'm going
Um,
to let you do it.
this is Steve, and we withheld the company name just because it could be a little bit of a touchy subject. Don't want to get any inter-office fighting going on in Steve's company. So his question is, how can I convince our company to invest in marketing to grow the business? And it's pretty simple. You can either invest in marketing to grow, or you cannot invest and become stagnant. Um,
Good point.
but but his question may really mean how to prove that the investment is worthwhile, and that's really nearly impossible with an ad agency or testing in media because that'll cost you. The cheapest test in the world that Steve could run or any of you contractors could run is to run multiple AdWords campaigns simultaneously. It's actually one of the things that we do here at Hudson Inc. to test headline winners. Maybe there are some others out there, but uh, the Power Suite is, of course, guaranteed to perform or your money back. So that takes a lot of that risk out. It's pretty easy to convince a trial when there's zero risk behind that.
Yeah, good point. You almost slid in a slight commercial, but that is the actual truth. I mean, Steve, if you're listening there, man, that's right. I mean, you can't get the proof up front. You can't say, hey, look what worked. Now we'll go ahead and pay the media and pay the ad agency for their work. So you've just got to get them on the phone with us if you think that'll help. But I mean, actually, we just need to put some tools in your hands. You try it and you see if it works and if it pays itself back. That's the main point. All right, and a third. Let's see, I'll just read this one and you answer it. How about that?
Okay, that'll work.
I just want to make sure I can still read this stuff. Tara McCready, who's been in touch with us a few times, and Tara, I do hope you are on the call. We've boosted Facebook ads to get, and by the way, I paraphrased her question down. It was a little bit longer. We've boosted Facebook ads to gain clicks and likes, but people aren't taking action. Is it the audience, our wording? And yes, Tara, it is your audience. You have bad friends. No, that's not true. It is hardly that. Yes, it's all of them are cheapskates, you know.
Yeah.
They're using the competition. Hardly. Scott, I'm going to let you start off on this, and I'll throw in if needed.
Yeah, and you know, Facebook is a social media. It's really almost anti-commerce, and it's easy to confuse that large audience. So I've got all these friends, I've got all these likes. I should be getting a large response. You notice probably in video 2 that we modified that and use a short, compelling post, often with an interesting photo or a video, and then it links to the rest of the story on your website. It's important that it goes back to your website. This adds clicks, traffic, and of course, the organic search results are going to improve as a byproduct. And we did one that was pretty popular. It was the top 5 questions my technicians get, and it was an entire series. It's very popular. They're pre-written. They're in the Power Suite. You can create your own if you want to go down that path, but as Tara's probably found out, it's pretty tough. And just to kind of expand on the point, I see every day people that pay large sums of money every month for people to handle their social media, and I go and check out what they're doing or having done for them for that amount of money, and it makes me cringe because nearly every social media content provider, yes, they post to your account, and yes, it's updated, and yes, it looks nice, but when you drill down a little bit more and you click on the information on your Facebook page, it takes your audience to another website. One glaring example that I've seen is post after post of interesting home remodeling, and that's the type of thing that's good. And then you click on it, and it takes you to Bob Vila's website. While Bob Vila, I'm sure, is very appreciative, you're basically paying for traffic to be generated on his site, which I don't think any of our people in the listening audience, that's really the market that they're in right now is funding Bob Vila. So just make sure that when you engage your followers on a social media site, make sure that you send them back to your site because that's the ultimate destination.
That's
where
exactly
you
right.
to generate a lead.
So dangerous. And if Bob Vila or his attorney are on the phone, we love Bob. We adore Bob. But Scott's right, man. You're kind of paying for a little bit of Bob's traffic there. And that's a bad idea. We see it go to the manufacturer site. We see it go to the government sites, and, for EPA on various standards, or energy savings, or solar penetration through windows. I mean, they send them to the government site like, great. That's exactly what your consumer wanted to do. Get that information for yourself. House it on your site. Don't send them off. That is an awesome, awesome point. Tara, I hope that helped you out. And we've got, let's see, Jimming. Is that a made-up name? Do we think that's Jimming? Actually, it's like a verb. It's an infinitive verb, Jimming.
That's right.
I'm just kidding, Jim, man. We hope you are on the call here. What should I expect to pay for marketing that works? And really, that's very similar. I think we had two. Yeah, that's right. Okay, what type of marketing works best and what doesn't? If we're going to kind of combine these, of course, Jim is talking about the paying, and I'll field this first one and let you jump on the second one.
Okay. Yep.
Expect to pay for marketing that works. Well, Jim, of course, the fascinating thing is you can pay a whole lot for marketing that doesn't work too. The interesting part about good marketing is that it costs you the same. In other words, a radio ad or a billboard campaign or a pay-per-click ad or an email blast, it's going to cost you the same to run junk as it is good stuff. But I think what you're asking is more specifically about the range. It's going to be between like 2.5% of your top line residential sales, because you can't put new construction and commercial in there, but 2.5% of your residential sales on the top line would be the least marketing fuel you can get away with. That would be in a small town or where you already dominate or where you really don't want to grow, all the way up to 10%. Of course, that's a big group, but it's about 4 to 6% would be about the average for a growing, hustling, bustling, vibrant, active, relevant contracting firm is going to spend 4 to 6%. Scott and I consulted with a company yesterday who has gone from 0 to $3.5 million in 3 years, a blazing speed from very, very sharp people. They're about to pop into a top 25 market that's not terribly far from them, and they, smart as they are, understanding the game, they're willing to put 10% out there on the front end just to make a lot of noise and get a lot of recognition, get a lot of leads. Then they'll tail it back down. We're advising them to pull it back down to that 4 to 5% level thereafter. So that's kind of that's what it takes to kind of run it. The media is going to be your big expense, and then the creative thereafter. And of course, we provide the creative and a decent amount of the fulfillment too. But you want to take Wendy's portion of the question about the marketing that works. I think that's the similarity in those questions.
Absolutely. And the first thing that Wendy would have to do, or any contractor, was define. You got to define, if I could get it out, work. Is it leads? Is it referrals? Is it better image? Is it top of the page on Google? You want to get clear on that first, and that's what coaching does. We kind of help our contractors define what they want to be and what they want to do in their marketing and who they want to go after. But if you mean work as in get leads, which that's really probably what it boils down to. Everybody wants their phone to ring. We covered a lot of that earlier, but it's really relatively, I say simple. But it's integrated message across the different different medias to the correct market. If you combine those 3 things, that is what's going to work for you. Now, I hesitate to say what doesn't work because I speak to contractors every day who tried direct mail one time 7 years ago and it didn't work, and now they're done with direct mail.
Right. So, I don't mean to laugh, but that's so true. It's so common when you hear people say that. Yeah.
Yeah, and they may have gotten burned. It may, it may have genuinely been a bad experience. But I try to go into it with an open mind. Now, that's not to say that as a coach you're going to say, well, yeah, just spend all the money you can, and we'll eventually find something that works. But you also have to be willing to do the things that stand out a little bit from your competition. It kind of goes back to the old yellow page train of thought where you can you put it in there.
What are those things?
Yeah, exactly. Well, your ad looks just like everybody else's, and you're just kind of all standing there with your hand up saying, pick me. Well, if all your other marketing, it kind of follows that model, you're asking for trouble. So I know that's kind of a roundabout answer to what works best and what doesn't, and I didn't give a specific, but it's because we want to go into it with an open mind and create an all-encompassing marketing plan for you.
Let me mention, Wendy, hoping you're on the line, or anybody else who has a similar question, what type of marketing works best. Here's the deal. All media, any media can be made to work. Any media. It is the audience and the messaging that you choose within that media that is the difference. Everybody says, oh, I tried radio, it didn't. Or like Scott said, oh, I tried direct mail and it didn't. Or I tried, tried it on Facebook and it didn't. And and it's the audience and it's the messaging. That is what makes the difference. But if Wendy's referring to WorkBest as far as lead gen, it's going to be a direct response piece, and that can be done online and offline, which we have examples that we're going to show you here later, and you saw them in the video as well. So hopefully that answered your question, Wendy, and if not, you can certainly email us here. And then the last one before we jump off into the review is, look, it's a miracle. Mose Carmelo said, can I see how the Power Suite is laid out? We sort of handpicked this one out of the group. Mose, thank you for that question, man. It was very, very helpful to us. But I think the serious part of this is how much do I have to do? And Mose, like a lot of folks, you're busy, man. You're trying to be a contractor. You know, we're a marketing firm, and you've got other people who are specialists. I mean, I don't know about you, but my doctor doesn't set his own appointments. You know, he's doing other things. And so everybody's got their team in place, and how much do you have to do is really excessively little, as you're going to see in the Power Suite, because, of course, it's already done. We've only got, you know, a year's worth of constant, consistent updating and upgrading and lots of people working on it and testing it. But anyway, Scott, I am going to let you take over from this on to see how it's laid out.
Okay, that will be perfect. Give us just a second here. We're going to flip it around and let you guys take a look at my screen, where we're going to take a quick tour through the Power Suite.
It's going to be magic if we can get technology to do this, but I'm convinced that we can.
Here we come. Let's see.
I see things happening.
And there it is.
It worked. Okay.
It worked. Okay. The Power Suite it's a web-based program. So you're given a username and password where you can log on to this members-only HVAC marketing Power Suite. It's hvacmarketing.com. This is where we'll host all of the material. This is where all the updates will come, the new ads, new content. This is where you'll be able to come back and download that material. So this is where we're going to kind of be our base of operations as we work through this. First thing I want to highlight, and I won't spend too much time on this, but I do want to emphasize that the marketing manuals, these training resources for you, it's basically like having an entire marketing department's knowledge at your fingertips. You can sort through this. We cover everything from web marketing and social media marketing all the way down to hiring and evaluating your CSRs. And it's literally, if you can think of it to do with your marketing, you've got it there.
It's really a library. Yeah, I mean, you've got
it's a library.
Yeah, you've got a coach at your disposal, which is cool, but sometimes you just want to find it on your own or read and learn more about it, and that's cool too.
That's right. Of course, you've got your coach. If you have a question about anything during, while you're working through the Power Suite, or you're trying to make a decision on something, pick up the phone, shoot an email. We're always here. But sometimes, maybe one night something wakes you up in the middle of the night. You're all excited. You want to know the answer. I think Adam's maybe the only person that actually happens to when it comes to marketing. But
I was feeling normal for a second.
you can thumb through. You've got these here as a resource. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts of the program. But let's take a look at the quote-unquote fun stuff. These are the actual marketing pieces that you'll receive. Each one is delivered in what we call a Consider It Done campaign, basically because you can consider it done. It's going to be a completely integrated marketing campaign. There's going to be 26, sometimes a couple more actually, pieces per campaign, both online and offline. Your offline material is going to cover your letters, your postcards, your newspaper ads, broadcast scripts, door hangers, on-hold messages, media releases, billboards. It's everything that you need. And then, of course, the web marketing. That's your reports, your emails and web copy, your video vault, blogs, social media, pay-per-click, Facebook ads, banner ads, and then the positive review accumulator, which is a great little tool to make sure that you capitalize on all of the goodwill that you build after a successful service call or replacement. Well, you want to be able to magnify their happiness and get their positive review to be able to share with the world.
Magnify their happiness. That's a great phrase. I wish I'd written it. I'd have taken credit. But seriously, no, that's cool. And behind every one of those tabs that Scott just showed, behind that are the integrated pieces done, completely done, literally. You
absolutely.
Fill in your company name and your phone number, and that is the end of that.
Yep. And we're going to take a walk through. We're going to start with the offline side and then show how it kind of integrates offline, and then obviously jump over to the online side, and you can see a snapshot of a campaign. We're not going to go through all the pieces just for the sake of brevity, but you will be able to see what we mean when we say an integrated message across all the different media types. So let's start with our offline pieces. We'll start with our letter, and this campaign is for equipment replacement. It's winter themed, and you'll notice the actor, or the model and the graphics that you see here. You're going to see it as a recurring theme across the different pieces. The fonts are going to be similar. You'll see as we scroll down where and how you can update the contact information. The variable data is all changeable. I do work with several contractors that we tweak a little bit of the verbiage. We tend to stay away from the first couple paragraphs and then the close on the end, changing them too much, because of course those changes affect the response rates. And we're all about the response rates on all your marketing, but especially the direct mail, because we want you to make sure that you're getting the best and most bang for your buck. So as we scroll down.
In case people are looking and thinking that's multiple pages, it's exactly 2 pages. 2 pages.
It's exactly 2 pages. Yeah, I'm scrolling down a little slow.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying, like when I blinked, I wasn't sure if that was clear to the audience, but it's just 2 pages, and 2 pages has a phenomenally high, what we call absorption rate, meaning people do actually read it, because is anybody going to read that copy? The answer is no if it's boring. The answer is yes if they're interested. So that's kind of the indicator there. But yeah, 2 pages is an awesome size if you can keep it.
It's a 2-page letter, and kind of while we're looking at this direct mail, a lot of times people ask us, well, what's best, a letter or is it a postcard, or what do I need to do? And the answer is both, and you'll kind of see how they integrate together as we take a look at. We'll take a quick look at the envelope first on the letter. The envelope, each campaign, each letter in the campaign comes with an envelope, complete with a teaser. We've got a couple of other things that we can do to improve those open rates on the letter, because obviously the best letter in the world, if it's never opened, is no good. So you want to make sure you have an enticing teaser on the outside of the envelope. Another thing that we do is we really strongly encourage using a live stamp. It looks a lot more personal. Doesn't look like junk mail.
Right.
So there's a couple of tricks just on the outward appearance of the envelope that get it opened at a much higher rate.
And no stickers. We don't like stickers. We're all talking about little 0.02 increments of increase in your response rate, which, like Scott said, that's what we're about. We guarantee you results, so there would be no reason for us to say, oh, just stick anything on the letter you want to. I mean, we have measured everything in the world, and these things do matter incrementally. If you choose not to do them, that's your choice. But we just
absolutely. We're going to steer you in the right direction. I guess it's the old adage, you can lead a horse to water, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that you get the best results possible. So here we are on the postcard. You'll notice very similar headline, same color, same font, same model, same graphics, and obviously a postcard's got a little bit less real estate, so there's not as much copy, but the same things. Variable data that you can enter, change. We can tweak a little bit if you want to call your energy analysis something a little bit different. That's fine. That's fine. It's yours. Definitely stay away from changing the offer, because, like I said, it's all boils down to results, and those are things that can start to change some of those results for the worse. One thing I did want to point.
You were saying about that. Some people say letter or postcard, and you have a very good methodology there. What is it?
Absolutely. You want to. Our recommendation is that you lead with the letter, and then have a follow-up postcard to your unclosed prospects or unclosed people off of that list, so that you hit them twice. It reminds. It's human. We talked about why people's attention spans are fragmented now, but it's true. If I see an offer, or if a consumer sees an offer today, they can have the best of intentions to pick up the phone and make a call, but they sit it on their counter, or they wait 2 weeks and they forget about it. Well, now all of a sudden they've got the follow-up postcard that reminds them, oh yeah, I meant to call ABC HVAC to get my either equipment serviced or replaced, or indoor quality check, whatever. It helps close those deals a lot better.
Yeah, and you'll find that the second mailing now has a higher response than it has ever had, which is to be about 50 to 60 some odd % of the initial mailing's response. So you are definitely leaving leads on the table, like Scott said, when they get that second reminder. It's like, bang, oh yeah, I meant to call them, and now is the better time for me to call them because the season has advanced. But
Yep.
look, I ain't making money off stamps here, so we recommend it because it works.
That's absolutely right. And one of the things that I wanted to mention also about this postcard is the size of the postcard. They're 5.5 by 8.5, and again, that's not by accident. That's not just an arbitrary number. We didn't go any, mini, miny, mo, and pick that. It's because it's large enough to stand out in the mailbox, but it's not oversized to the point to where it's ridiculous. But the 5.5 by 8.5 is large enough to where it's not going to just blend in with a little 3x5 cards. They get stuck in a magazine or in some or shuffled into the bill counter and never seen again. So they're 5.5 by 8.5, and again, helps the response rates.
Yep.
And then the one other piece that I wanted to show for the offline marketing, and again, there's several more pieces. We could be here literally till we could be here all day.
Yep.
But this is our
and
billboard.
I'd be happy to look at all of them, but I don't think the rest of us would be happy to look at all of them.
Yeah. Well, once you get the Power Suite, you've got access to all of these.
There you go. Well, that's right.
So as we took a look at the billboard again, you'll notice same font, same color scheme, variable data easily changed, and the same girl. So that if somebody sees this billboard and they also had gotten the letter from you, they're gonna be able to say, oh yeah, this is what they're talking about. Even if the billboard's just a passing glance, oh yeah, that's the girl off the letter that I saw the other day. It's that repeated, consistent message that is going to make the biggest change in those response rates.
And think how professional that is, folks. Somebody's gotten a postcard or a letter, they see the billboard, it's like, oh my gosh, this is like a seriously professional, modern, cutting-edge company, and there's your reputation, your credibility, your image is just boosted out the top.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I didn't even mention about the pieces was they're all designed with image in mind. They're not going to be something that's got 15 different offers. They're not going to be cutting back prices to the absolute rock bottom, because we don't recommend that that's what you do. You can sell your services for $1 and probably stay booked up for as long as you want, but that's no good for you, and that's not the route we want to send you down. Okay, so you've got an idea of how the offline pieces all tie together. Again, we looked at the letters and the postcards, but of course we got the newspaper ads and broadcast scripts. And broadcast scripts are for the radio. They're 30-second and 60-second spots that, again, tie into the campaign. We've got an on-hold message that many people is really an underutilized resource. As somebody that spends a lot of time on hold at HVAC companies, I can tell you there's a lot of people that do not use that resource.
And what a valuable moment in time, too. People are on hold, and as long as you make the message palatable and professional, it's fine. Additionally, it notches your company's image up just a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. And then, of course, you've got media releases and then the billboard that we just took a look at. And, again, every single campaign has each of those pieces available with it. And the next material I want to jump over to and show some samples of is the web marketing pieces. This is where a lot of the confusion comes from with contractors, is the website. And the biggest, and when it's all boiled down to it, the biggest issue, or one of the biggest issues, is the content. Well, that wouldn't be an issue anymore with the Power Suite, just because if you're lacking content, you've got it. You've got reports, you got emails and web copy, you got videos. I think we're up to right around 20 videos now that go with the campaigns, and that 2 videos is worth the entire Power Suite. But good luck trying to produce those without going to the pocket really, really deep. Of course,
you mean not 20 videos per? You mean a video per campaign?
Correct.
And a video in each campaign. Yeah, right. Gotcha.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Then you got blogs, social media, pay-per-click and Facebook ads, banner ads, and then again the positive review accumulator that we mentioned a little bit earlier. And I want to take a look at this campaign, and you're going to notice our friend there again. This is the email and then the web copy that it links back to. Again, email marketing is a great tool when used correctly. You'll notice the email itself, and it's actually this area that I have highlighted here, subject line, winter already, and then you, of course, variable data, you want to make sure it's your customer's name. If you can, it's usually pretty easy in whatever email provider that you're using. We tell you where to link it back to. Of course, you want to make sure your signature line's correct. And some of you are probably looking at this and saying, oh, it's just text. Well, that's not by accident. It's not because, well, we forgot to put the picture on there. It's because this text-only format is the best to get through spam filters. It's kind of the same idea as direct mail. If nobody's reading it, then it's no good. So we want to make sure that as many eyeballs as possible get on this. This is why we use the text-only format for the emails. And that link is going to take them to the web copy, which is here. Again,
you can have some graphics. And folks,
yep.
Just let me tell you, Brendan Burchard, who has just signed a deal with Oprah, one of the top marketers in the world today, one of the top 10 most followed people on Facebook. He used to have graphics in his email. He doesn't anymore. Too much spam filtration, too much slow loading. So that's exactly why we do it. That is not an old tech thing. That's a new tech thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And formatting issues, there's so many different browsers and things. So once they click on that email, this is where you take them. This is on your website, and it's really going to do a couple of things for you. First and foremost, it's going to allow you to set appointments, close sales, make money, which is great.
We like
other,
that.
Yeah, I think that's what it boils down to. But the other added benefit and kind of I don't want to say secondary, but the unexpected or unintended result is by changing this content, putting it on your website, and having these web reports that are constantly updating and changing, it is SEO gold. That content is loaded with keywords, loaded with words that are going to show up in the Google results, Google being, we can mention all the other ones, but the Google results,
yeah,
and get you to the top of that page. So updating this content is going to improve your SEO. It's going to improve your rank on Google. It's going to help you close more sales, generate more leads, which will eventually result in more sales, which, again, always a good thing.
And what Scott's referring to on the Google results, he's talking about the organic results, the results
yep.
that people actually go to click on to say, wow, there's one of the top 2, 3, whatever
yep.
clickable places for me to go. You want to be in that top 2, 3, and Google lives off of activity and relevancy. And we know that, and we hear the conferences, and we understand what they're after, and that's why these are built that way. We want your organic search to go up. I'm not interested in selling you SEO.
That's right. And again, it's an added benefit, not unintended, but it's the secondary to the leads and the sales. So
right.
In conjunction, those things work really, really well together. Next thing I want to take a look at is one of the videos that I mentioned earlier. You'll see on this video, it's a few minutes long. We obviously won't watch it here with you together. One of the neat things about these videos is you see the actor here, and we hired an actor to be uniform across these videos. So it's going to be something that's consistent as you go through the campaigns and as you update this material. It's not going to be something that jumps out to your customers like, who is this? Why is it changed again? It's consistent across all the different videos, so that it's the same guy. It's not going to be shocking or jarring to anybody. These videos are great tools to be able to use not only on your website. A lot of people put them straight to their website and kind of forget about them, but they're also great on YouTube channels, great on social media, great to email. There's a ton of different applications that you can use, not only to generate interest and potential leads and sales, but also really boils back down to the SEO results as well. Having these videos, correct meta tags, the correct descriptions in the right places are all going to lead to improved SEO.
And in those videos, his scripting is to include the same message.
Correct.
The email and the social post and the direct mail or the billboard. I mean, that messaging is all the same, and I hope that that's just super clear. I mean, because, that's just one little screenshot of the video where the girl actually shows up, and it's spot on that anyway.
Yeah,
it's all linked together.
It's all linked together. Again, it all integrates together. If there's one key word for the Power Suite, it's the integration. It's going to integrate the same message across all those different media types. And then the next piece that I want to look at, and then if you just have these 4 or 5 pieces that we're looking at here, you could create an effective web marketing campaign. Of course, you get more than that with the Power Suite, but just these in your arsenal could do great things for you. This is a Facebook post, had a generic logo, created this just to kind of give a look and feel what it would look like. If I could please plead with you to listen to one piece of advice, it would be this. And then you see our girl here. People click on it. It would take them to the web report that we mentioned earlier, generate the leads, generate the results. And it also is not super over-the-top sales. One of the things that we always mention and always emphasize is to have an 80-20 rule on your social media, 80% friendly, conversational, and then 20% can be sales. Well, this obviously would be a sales type piece, but it's not over the top with the $29.99 special or the $79.99 tune-up, and it's consistent with all the other marketing pieces that we looked at. I know I'm beating a dead horse a little bit here, but I can't overstate enough of how important that is to have the same image, same type font, same graphics, same offer, consistent throughout all your marketing.
Yeah, and I think, Scott, no, your point was super well made about on the social side, the 80-20. That's a very, very valuable rule, because what you're doing on social media is engagement. You're trying to win the audience and build the audience. It's, you know, social media is just a big digital cocktail party, and no more would you be at a cocktail party and hand people your business flyer and your brochure than you would do that on Facebook. I mean, that breaks the social mores to even consider it. So those who are telling you to sell on Facebook, or hey, I've done $1 billion on Facebook, they're not telling you how. So people misconstrue and think, oh, well, I just must put my offer on Facebook. That's a great way to get kicked out of the party. So
yep.
It's got to happen in this way. That's why we call it a two-step.
That's right. That's right. And just a quick rundown of all the web pieces you get. We took a look at a few of those there. You get reports, you get the emails and the web copy, again, the videos, the blogs, social media. You get pay-per-click and Facebook ads, banners, and the positive review accumulator. One of the things I want to emphasize about the social media, and we kind of touched on some of the points of things that you need to do and not do. One, you're not going to be left to your own devices. You're going to have a coach here to help walk you through those. And we also provide what we call a tweet cheat sheet. That's a mouthful. To be able to show you kind of when, how, and why, and what on your social media. So you've got a live coach, and then we also spell it out for you really clearly of what to do and what to link it to and all of that. And outside of the Consider It Done campaigns, there are marketing pieces that you will need. And again, we don't want to send you off to try to figure it out again. We want this to be as all-encompassing as it possibly can. So we include what we call everyday pieces. And these everyday pieces, they change regularly, they change with the campaigns, and they'll cover various topics, if we can get it changed over here. The first one there, competitive intelligence sampling form. Basically what that is it gives you the resources to be able to, for lack of a better term, spy either on yourself, really, on your employees, or your competition. So you identify what's working for them, what's not working for them, and so that you can either adapt those in your company or make sure, hey, I know I need to stay away from that. We also provide a direct response letter, a sequential email that you can follow before your appointments are to arrive, a thank you email, another postcard, a thank you card for the tune-up. The PRA is actually another version of the positive review accumulator that has a coupon attached to it, so that you can kind of leverage that review a little bit. And then you can provide the letter with the all-purpose image and letter for the addition of services, and then the retention letter for reactivating your maintenance agreement customers. That's one of the mysteries that a lot of HVAC contractors face, is how to get and keep people in your maintenance agreements. Well, we have a couple of campaigns that are solely devoted to maintenance agreements, but that letter by itself will help you reactivate a lot of your lost maintenance agreement customers, and it's a lot like pulling money out of the trash. So
yeah, and so what these are, it's like, hey, well, why is this email different? Why do we have a postcard or a letter over here? It's because these are the pieces that you could use, and these are also some pieces that you think, well, okay, well, look, I need to fill in my tune-ups. Well, you send out that email postcard letter about that. Those are just fill-in pieces. You've got full campaigns elsewhere, but those are just fill-in pieces you can use every day or anytime you need them. Those are like extras, and they're cool to have.
That's absolutely right, and kind of along the line of extras, we always provide a couple of extra reports. These are, think of them as kind of mini manuals that we change regularly. We've got the ones that we have up right now are how to use social media that goes beyond the hype. I know we've talked a lot about that type stuff today, so if you want to know a little bit more, it's available in your Power Suite. And then the Web Marketing Avalanche Formula, another great resource to be able to maximize your web marketing. And then the last thing that I want to touch on is the coaching with the Power Suite. Again, you've got a real live marketing coach here. It might be me. It may be one of the other coaches that's here as a resource for you. You can call us up. We can schedule a time to get together. We help you with everything from we help you set your budget. We help you come up with a plan. We help you track the results of your marketing. We tell you, hey, that's not the way it should be. It should look like this. We'll critique your current marketing materials, your website, your social media. Hey, I'll let you know that, hey, you might want to change that pretty quick, or, hey, you're doing great with that. Keep that going. But that's there, and you've got access through the Power Suite site to schedule a call. It'll shoot an email to us, say, hey, are you available tomorrow? Or, hey, can I schedule a time next week? Well, that's there for you, and that's what the coaching is for. Power Suite, a couple of pieces that I didn't highlight that I do want to mention, though, is the power tracking software that comes with the Power Suite. You're able to track the results of your marketing. It'll actually calculate your cost per lead, your average ticket size, your return on investment, and it allows you to know what's working in your marketing. That's included in the program, and also the the budget software. Sorry, I drew a blank there for a second. The budget software is going to identify what type of marketer you are, what percent you should be spending, and also generate a plan for us to follow. That's included in the Power Suite, and really by itself is worth the price of admission because it allows you to generate a plan and stay within a budget, which is what we're all about here within Power Suite, but within a plan. And at this point,
that's a pretty good core.
That's a pretty good core when it boils down to it. And what I'm going to do now is change back over to you, Adams.
Can we do such a thing? It's amazing.
We're going to try really hard.
Okay. Okay. And there we are.
And there it is.
Scott, that was a great tour on what we've got, and you mentioned a lot about the Power Suite, and there's a lot of content already covered. So I'm just going to run through this super quick because we've gotten a couple of chats on how do I get it, when can I sign up, and which we're so delighted that your willingness is there. But as Scott mentioned, I mean, look, you've already gotten a good tour of what all is in it. This is just going to be the fastest overview in the world. Look, we want you people to succeed. We want you to get your dreams met, your goals met. We want to help you with this. As Scott mentioned, you got 26 integrated pieces each quarter that come to you. We don't overwhelm you with stuff that's out of your season. We send it to you so you can use it. It's ready to go. It helps you sell all these different items that you see there. Each one, it's all incredibly well organized, as you just saw. Scott ran you through it quickly. He can do it in his sleep, and you'll have him and other coaches here to walk you through it. Very easy to do. And you've got the anytime pieces or the everyday pieces that you looked at also that are in there. And these are the fill-in spots as well, the things that you absolutely can use. I mean, literally, the day you get it, you can start putting these tools to use. You don't have software and reconfiguring your system that you have to do. These are instantly usable items, very easy. And a lot of, of course, people are saying, how much is it? Well, truthfully, how much is it worth to you to have it? And think about the time to create it or build it or test it, which is unbelievable. And the results and the lower stress you're going to have, the higher image, to have all that available to you at your fingertips. And, people get on me sometimes like, good gosh, your copywriting and your strategy sessions are so expensive, and they are. I mean, we're $3,000 per page of copy, but who cares if it brings you 50 or 100 grand worth of work every time you use it? I mean, it doesn't matter what you pay me per page to do that. but we've put our best material in the Power Suite, all collected together, and the grand total is $2,495. That is $2,495 for the entire thing, with your performance guarantee, which I'm going to show you in a second. And honestly, the markup in 2 systems in an entire year, 2 systems the first day you use it, whenever, 2 systems would pay for the entire Power Suite. And here's the guarantee. It's not 19 pages long. It just says get it, use it, absorb the material, put the ads out there. If it doesn't pay you several times your investment, and I don't care if you pick 10 times or 50 times your money, if it doesn't pay you back, cancel and get a 100% refund up to a full year later. We are dead serious about this. We want a few of you on this call to go ahead and make a decision to get it, and you can go to the HVACadvertising.com, or you can call us at the toll-free number listed there to go ahead and get on this program and review it. Go ahead and take us up on the offer. Get with the coach. Talk about your marketing. Look at the pieces. And if it's for you, keep it. Let's go to the races. If it's not for you, no big deal. Send it back. We part friends. But you will never know unless you try. And that money is in basically like a savings account here waiting on you. If you ever want to redeem it, it's yours. And that's how Hudson Inc. has been doing this for 15 years. And we've seen many competitors come and go, and they wonder how we can offer these guarantees. Well, it's, we think, boldly, because it works. As soon as you join, you're going to get the Power Suite program at your fingertips. You're going to get the Gold one-on-one coaching. That's $97 a month ordinarily, but you're going to get that. You're going to get the first 30 days of your coaching at no charge. It's on us. If during the 30 days you say this is not for me, boom, everything, you've not paid another dime. It comes back to you. It will even pay you return shipping. But I want to make this a little bit easier for you to do, because you're thinking, wow, 30 days, there's a lot of busy stuff going on. I don't know if I'll crack into it. How about 60 days? We'll give you 2 solid months for you to make sure this is right for you, just on the coaching. And if you stay in the coaching after that, it's $97 a month. If you say, no, I'm cool on my own, I'll fly solo, no big deal. It just cuts you off of the coaching support, but you'd still have the Power Suite to use as you want. It may be self-explanatory enough for you to just say, no, I'm fine. I'll just do it on my own. Now, most people do stay in the coaching, but that is totally your call. There's no one's going to force you to do it at all. But mainly what we want to stress here is we run right on to the very end of the time that we've got together today is don't go it alone. Quit trying to do everything yourself. We do want to work with you. And Scott, I don't know if you can tell in that picture, I'm that little dog getting the hamburgers.
As long as you're not going down to me, that I'm okay with that.
I think those bigger ones at the bottom, those are probably yours.
Save me the good stuff.
There you go. I'll throw that ketchup and mustard down there. But folks, I mean, look, it takes a team. It always does. You know, you can't do all this yourself. We speak to contractors every day, hardworking men and women throughout the country who are just trying to get by, or they're trying to figure out, you know, how do I get to that next level? I am here to tell you, if not just to preach to you, that getting to the next level is as simple as targeting the right audience with the right message in the right media at the right time. Now, if you wanted to quit being a contractor and become a marketer, you could figure all that out. You could hire it out, you could stitch it together, you could start doing a lot of testing, or you could just get the Power Suite. You could just call that toll-free number, say, I want to go ahead and get one. And by the way, we only, I think in the video, we mentioned that there were only a dozen left. Well, 4 people, we actually found 2 more. There's 14 total. 4 people said they want them even before we got on today's call. So there are 10 left. And don't think, oh, they're selling, it's a scratch and dent sale. Hardly. When we revise it, after these 10 are gone, as they exist, it will be far more expensive monthly. So the next 10 who get through are going to be in exactly at the price said, and exactly for the 2 months, no cost, and $97 a month thereafter. If you come in after that, you'll get an email or a call to say that we'll put you on a waiting list, which is fine, and we'll offer you the repackaged version. All we're doing is repackaging it to look slightly different. If you are already in on the Power Suite, the repackaging includes the website. So you're going to get the revamped new website that is going to be more expensive next go round, but you're going to be grandfathered in. I don't love that phrase, but you're going to be pulled in because you're already a Power Suite member. So go ahead and go to the hvacadvertising.com site and place your order right now, as we still have some left at this current price and packaging, or go ahead and call. And I'm seeing, Scott, you're downstairs, I'm not, every line is filled. I see one line open.
That's right. I think I see smoke coming from the phones down here.
Right. Right. Well, and we're sitting here, we're sort of like in a jovial mood about this thing, because I mean, look, the main payment is not the payment that you're making us. The main payment is that we get to hear your stories of success. We get to hear the people who said, gosh, I was challenged. I used to stay up at night wondering what to do with marketing. Bang, the answer came in the form of a Power Suite. I now have a coach, and it's awesome. I feel like a huge weight's been lifted. That really and truly is the payment. That is more the reason we get to come to work. Sure, the money fuels the business, but I'm telling you, it is the good feeling of partnering with people who are in need, and most of all in desire, to grow their company through advanced messaging, and they don't want to have to reinvent the wheel. It's already done for you. So it's a delight to share this with you, and I look forward. And then with that one line, now we have no lines open. We literally have no lines open. Okay, if that's you, if somebody's trying to call, I see some, it's still ringing. Okay, we have, I think Jessica's just answered the first incoming phone call of her entire life. She's our operations director.
We're all hands on deck down here.
Right, she doesn't answer the phone. I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever seen that. I'm not sure she answers her phone at home, but anyway, if it's busy to you, if you get a busy signal, you're welcome to email us. But please leave a message. We'll return those calls in the order that we get them. I sound like I'm selling something on midnight TV. But anyway, we're delighted if you're delighted. It excites us. And Scott, you want to put any last couple of comments in there?
Well, I just want to thank everybody again for coming, and then also just really emphasize how excited that I am as a coach. I know the other coaches here are to work with each of the contractors that are going to take advantage of this offer, because it's an opportunity that they'll have to make 2016 and really beyond the best year yet. And we look forward to being a part of that.
And we do. That is exactly well said. And thank you folks all for tuning in. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day. But we mostly, let me reemphasize, look forward to working with you over the next year, or as long as you'll have us. We've got, like Bob Zom, the gentleman who sent in that question, he has been a customer of ours, I believe, for 8, maybe 10 years. We love these long relationships, and we look